Hey, I am Andrea Praber. I am broker owner of Great Expectations Realty, and today we are going to do a live actually from my house. So I am, I don't know, chilling out at home. I pulled a neck muscle or something. Apparently, after the age of 40, if you get out of bed wrong, things hurt. So, um, so I was actually planning on going over to DR Horton and checking out one of their homes. We were going to go to JB Ranch to see if we had better internet connection this time with my friend Dawn. But I called her and I was like, we're going to swap this to next week because I have a pinched nerve that is shooting pain down my arm. So I'm going to go ahead and do this just a little differently this week. So as you can tell, we have my window back here as opposed to the really pretty sign that we have in my recording studio at the office, but that's okay. You get to see my interesting drapes back here. I don't know. So welcome. Anyway, so we are hanging out over here. Hopefully I will be able to see all the comments and everything when people start coming on, but it was kind of interesting. This week I did a little bit different on my What's Up Ocala and my radio show, and I actually used a script and a teleprompter, and it was for the first time. Somebody had mentioned they've mentioned it a few times that I have, my eyes are always moving around and my face is really expressive, but it wasn't like in a really good way. They were like, why do you keep looking around? You're trying to like memorize lines or something. And I'm like, no, I just kind of, it's just, I am who I am. This is how I would converse with you if you were right there in front of me. This is it. What you see is what you get. Nothing fancy. So what I did is I went ahead and downloaded a teleprompter, and I actually had a script and everything. So it was probably a little bit different. I thought it was a little dry. I thought the information was interesting in that, I was talking about quantitative easing and the Federal Reserve, and how it is actually changing things from not just the entire real estate market and mortgages because they're buying mortgage-backed securities, but also how it can really impact inflation and raise the grocery bill even that you have. So how it's all kind of going together. But anyway, so I explained that not like I did just now, but actually sounding like a fairly intelligent individual, because again, I had a script for the first time. So, and then I was talking about the difference between a boom and a burst, if the bubble is bursting, if it is a bubble, or if it's actually a boom. And we really don't know. There's a lot of people that kind of go back and forth on that. I was definitely seeing more of a boom here in Ocala, and it was definitely definitely needed and something that I think was due for quite a while in our town. But it's something that I definitely think is a boom. However, I think there are more of a real estate bubble going on in other markets. So I was talking about that, and again, it just kind of seemed a little dry. So you'll have to let me know what you think. It was I thought very interesting information, but it's not the kind of stuff that I normally do. I normally do something more like this and just, chat with you guys. So having a script was really weird. I don't normally like watching videos where it's scripted because it just kind of seems fake. But, again, if you're wanting more information and it's really hard to remember all of that information and talk about it in a conversation type thing without looking at any notes or anything like that, yeah, having a teleprompter is great. So hopefully I did it right. You guys will have to let me know. I guess we'll tell by the views or how often people clicked off of it when they're like, what on earth is this blonde chick thinking of talking about quantitative easing? Oh my goodness. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I do think that the videos where I really take things apart and explain them seem to have the best views, so I guess it's appreciated. One where I just had a big huge map of Ocala and Marion County and was like, okay, here's where everything is. That one's probably one of our most popular videos. And another one that I found was really interesting is all these houses that are being built over the last few years. It took me about a month to do the video, but I went over to various construction sites and basically just videotaped as the houses were being built. And, you know, because, I mean, Florida houses are built differently than they would be in, say, Michigan or something like that, and why they're built differently. I thought was interesting information. It's basically the stuff that I am curious about and I want to know about. That's what I share with you guys. Sometimes it's stuff I know and I understand perfectly well. Other stuff, it's maybe something that I just found out or I want to know more about. And so as I'm learning about it, I share it with you guys. So that's basically what I do. I am so curious about everything. I want to know how it works, why it works. I want to truly understand. I don't think that you should ever stop educating yourself. So I'm always reading something. I'm always questioning people about, you know, how they do things or what they do and where they do it and why it's different and all that stuff. I find that interesting. I always have. Even when I was a kid, I was never out there playing with the other kids my age. I would sit there and sit with all these. In every neighborhood we ever lived in, there was always this one older woman that just thought I was interesting and precocious and would sit there and listen. And I still remember their names. I mean, I was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and I remember each little lady's name, and they would sit there and listen to me and let me talk my heart out and let me sit there and listen to everything that they did in their life. And I was always so fascinated. It was like listening to the best real life living storybook ever. So that hasn't changed. I still love hearing from other people and what they do and how they did it and just the history of everything. And I don't know, I find it fascinating. So I share those stories with you guys. One of the best things that I loved was for the county property appraiser. He came into my office and he talked for over an hour and explained county taxes to me. It's something that, you know, I knew about, but I shy away from math. Like, my brain is not math oriented, okay? I don't know if any of you guys are like that. Some people are like, yeah, I love math. It makes perfect sense. And I'm like, just as long as you don't put letters in with my numbers, I'm golden. But so I don't know. Anybody wants me to explain math to them and get into the millage of things and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know. So, can I do it? Yes. But do I feel comfortable in that? Comfortable enough to explain it in a very detailed way in a video? I just didn't really feel comfortable. So I asked our county property appraiser to come and do a video with me, and it was awesome. He did. He sat and talked for over an hour, and it was so much fun. It was just like hanging out with a buddy and, you know, talking about how he does his job. It was really cool. But now anytime anybody asks me about how property appraiser works and how the property taxes work, I can just share that video with them. And I was like, here is from the person. He's been doing this for over 20 years. He can explain it best to you. Here's my gift to you. And then I don't have to explain it. It's really nice. So, because nobody could explain it better than he could. I mean, that's literally what he's done every day for 20 years. Fantastic information. So, just really, really cool. I love hearing all of those stories. I hope to be able to share more stories as we go along, because that's the kind of stuff that I really find fascinating too. So hopefully we'll see. Anyway, I'm sitting here yammering right along. What kind of stuff do you guys want to see? Are there like specific things that you want to look at? I know we've had a lot of rental stuff up there lately. Sharni always has the best videos for like new construction walkthroughs. So I love that she shares those on our channel. I don't know, we all have like a little bit of different things that we share to the company channel. So that's kind of fun. But if there's anything that you're curious about or you'd like me to create a video on, let me know. I'm definitely open to any ideas you guys have. A lot of the videos that we've actually made are answering your questions. So we do have some updated videos that we need to do about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I did a video about my husband and I, our bills. And so everyone's like, well, with all the inflation and everything going crazy, can you do an updated video on your bills? And I'm like, well, yeah, but things really haven't changed that much for us. I mean, we're still living in the same house. We did change cars, so I guess we can update that. But while we did get a loan on one car, the other car is about to get paid off. So, you know, it's kind of, we don't really like to even have loans on cars, but he, he, yeah, he likes it for our credit. Apparently, it's really good for like revolving credit. So for me, I just want to pay off the vehicles as quickly as humanly possible. And he's like, that's actually hurting your credit rating. So, meh, whatever. But yeah, some of that stuff is stuff that I needed to update. So we'll see if that has changed too much. One thing that was interesting is my bill for groceries has gone down considerably, which makes no sense because inflation has raised the price of groceries horrifically. But I found this thing called Walmart app where they deliver your groceries. It was where I was going to the store and then they would just put the groceries in my cart or in my car. But then a couple of times I would go there to show up to pick up the groceries and I was waiting there for like 45 minutes to an hour and I'm like, this is not saving me time, even if it is saving me money. So I looked at it and it wasn't that expensive to go ahead and have them deliver it to my house. You just schedule the time you're going to be home and what day that you want them to deliver it to your house. And I don't have to haul around like water bottles or like canned goods. So I don't have to go walking all over Walmart, which is the size of a football field, I swear. I don't have to purchase extra things I don't need. I just throughout the week as I see something that I'm running low on, like I love banana peppers, you know, the little rings. Man, I put those on my sandwiches and stuff like crazy. Well, I noticed that we're almost out. I have like this much left in a big old jar. So I'm like, okay, so I just went into the app real quick on my phone, put in banana rings, and there we go. It's now in my cart. It's in this virtual shopping cart. So I don't really run out of anything. We have so much in there, but I'm only spending about $120 a week in groceries. So, but if you put me in a store, especially like Publix, oh, I can do some damage. Yeah. And then I'll forget stuff because I never take a list with me. I leave it at home on the counter or on the fridge or something. And so, yeah, I never have a list with me. I'm like, oh, I'll just remember. So I go into the store, get a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't need, but it was on sale. And then I end up not getting the stuff I did need. So then I have to go back to the store and we start the cycle all over again. And heaven help me if I'm hungry and grocery shopping. It is so bad. It's so bad. So yeah, I save a lot of money by not shopping while I'm hungry and not buying stuff that I don't need. If there's like my recipes for the week, I just, okay, I need this, 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 and this, and we're done. And I can just walk right into the kitchen and see what I have and what I don't have and done. I mean, super, super easy, so much faster. But it actually, it tells me how many hours I've saved and it only does like an hour per grocery trip or whatever. And so far, it said I saved like 59 hours when I looked at it today. And I was like, I think more than that because I live almost 20 minutes from the Walmart. And then, of course, there's shopping. And that's if you can find a cashier that's available to you and not have a line all the way to like the lingerie section. So yeah, it's crazy, but you can get other stuff too. So like you can get shampoo, conditioner, makeup, sheets for the beds. I mean, anything and everything you can get it. And if they don't happen to have it at the store, they'll ship it to you. I know this sounds like a huge commercial for them, and that is not it. I'm not getting any money from them or anything like that. It's not that. It's just, it's something that I have found that has added time and money to me, so much so that we've nearly cut our grocery bill in half. So if it's something that's working for me, I would highly recommend that you look into it. So there's a Kroger app as well. I know we don't even have a Kroger here, but I see the little Kroger grocery delivery trucks all over the place in Ocala. So if you're really wanting Kroger, you can do that as well. It works just fabulous. So anyway, but I don't know. That's what I've been doing. It's great. I have noticed that, you know, of course, the produce and stuff is better at Publix than Walmart. I mean, nobody's going to argue with that. It really is. It might be cheaper at Walmart, but you get what you pay for. So there are some things that I still prefer to buy at Publix, which is only a mile down the road. And again, it's not because I'm lazy. I promise it's not because I'm lazy that I'm not going over a mile away to the Publix. It is because it saves so much time and money if I don't physically go into the store. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, apparently I fall victim to like the end caps and the sales all way too much. So I am, what do they call it when it's you're buying stuff? An impulse buyer? Yeah, that's it. No, it's just I don't have that much time. So it just goes in the cart. Okay, this looks good, and chuck it in. Bad plan. Bad plan. Not good for your grocery budget. But anyway, so I have noticed that goat cheese. There's a lot of recipes. I love goat cheese. I know it sounds so weird, but I really do love it. On salads and in an omelet. I don't know. It's so good. Or just put it on top of spinach. Awesome. So, but I don't like the Walmart goat cheese. I don't. It's just, it always tastes way too sour, way too wrong. So I just get that from Publix. So there's a few things that I have to get from Publix. It's just, otherwise it's just gross. So anyway. But yeah, it is definitely helping. My husband's like, are you doing an order this week? And I'm like, I don't really need anything. Don't need to go to the grocery store. We have sufficient everything. So, no, it's pretty cool. But yeah, things are definitely less expensive at Walmart than they are at Publix. But yeah, just it is what it is. So that's something that's helped. So yeah, some things have gone up, like our insurance. That has gone up. Our car payment is a little bit high right now, but that should be coming down because, again, we're going to drop off one of the car payments because it's paid off. Insurance, our health insurance went up. I did not know this, but apparently if you if you turn 65, you automatically go on Medicare. There's like, do not pass go. You have no other options. Okay, so you're on Medicare. Boom. So my husband last year turned 65. He's a little older than me. I am not 65. Be kind, y'all. But yeah, he actually went on Medicare, and so now we have Medicare and Florida Blue, as opposed to we used to just have Florida Blue. And the Florida Blue did not go down at all, even though he's no longer on it. So we're like, how did that happen? So yeah, but you know, we have to have health insurance, especially when you're in your 60s. You have to have health insurance because yeah, just one visit to the ER can, yeah, it can sink you if you're not prepared for it. So yeah, so that's definitely something that changed as well. So just different stuff changed over the last couple of years, but some things were more expensive and some things were less expensive, so it kind of evened out. But so many people are asking for an update that I will do an updated one and go from there. But I'm sure I'm sure it probably went the same way for you guys. Some things went more expensive, some things were less expensive, and you just kind of adjust. We could definitely adjust more, but I don't know, we're pretty content at this point. So I think that's a lot of it, is not looking what everybody else has and just being content with what you have. Makes it easier. It is hard though sometimes because people are like, oh, but you know, you're on YouTube all the time, and you know, you drive a fairly nice car, and you know, I'm sure you have lots and lots of money, and you know, why aren't you going to cruises all the time, or why aren't you going and, you know, having really nice clothes, and you know, you could be wearing like Gucci and stuff like that, and that would never happen in my family. There's nothing wrong with it for other people. If that is your priority, that is your thing, go for it. That is not our thing. We have other priorities. We want to leave an inheritance for our children. So, yeah, that we prefer investing in real estate and investing in our business. And that's really where our priorities are right now. Not in, you know, driving like fancy sports cars or stuff like that, having a boat, you know, just no. We are considering getting a truck and an RV. But when I say considering, it's going to be used and it's probably going to be another year of considering before we even really get into the actual shopping for it. Like, I'll shop around, but that's about it. So, can we buy one brand? Yes, absolutely. Are we going to? No, no. We are right in the middle of rehabbing one of our properties, so that's fun. It is down to the studs right now. I went and got pictures because I'm sure you guys are going to want to see before and after and all that, but that one is crazy. We've been waiting a few years to rehab that one. I'm so excited to finally do it. But it's going from a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and it will be a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house when we're done. So it is a huge rehab. Currently it has nothing. It has no longer has a kitchen or a bathroom at all, like anywhere. So yeah, it's crazy. But we have to get all sorts of engineering plans and permits and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be a lengthy process. But the house is really, really cute and we really like it and we want to get the most for the house. If we're going to go ahead and rehab it, we might as well just rehab it. And it really needed to be rehabbed. The carpeting had not been changed out in like 20 years. The tenants that we had came with the house. We had inherited them with the house. They had been there like 11 years when we got the house. That was several years ago. One of the tenants was in her 90s and we did not feel comfortable asking her to move out. But at the same time, we didn't really feel like, you know, turning into a construction zone around her either. So it's just kind of been on hold for a couple of years, which is fine because the building materials were astronomical anyway. So it kind of worked out. But yeah, so she did end up going into hospice care and she is no longer with us. And so, you know, her relative that was living with her went ahead and moved out and it was, you know, all good, no problems. So, yeah, but we left it. I mean, we did a few things, like it didn't have central heat and air. So we did that. The water heater died and it really needed to be relocated. So we did that. The electrical needed to be updated. Those were things that we could do without really causing too much interference for the tenants that were living there. Because we just didn't want to put any strain on her. So anyway, but now it is gutted. So, my husband's practically living over there right now because he's like constantly meeting with contractors and stuff over there. But should be cool. We went ahead and purchased the appliances for it because we got a really good deal on a multi-appliance discount. So my husband spent 4 hours over at Lowe's the other day trying to get it all worked out because we had multiple properties that needed appliances and it was just crazy. But if you buy a lot of appliances at once, you can get a substantial discount from Lowe's in case you guys wanted that little tip. So yeah, if you and maybe some friends or neighbors, doesn't all have to go to the same address either. So if you or some friends or neighbors need appliances, it might be a good idea to figure it out together. Because yeah, they will do substantial discounts. And you know, if you get it with a sale, which is what we did. So we got like a pro account, a sale, and multi appliance discount. And yeah, so we saved a lot of money. Spent a lot of time at Lowe's. I was not going with him. I don't know about you guys, but I can't spend 4 hours in Lowe's without losing my ever-loving mind and my eyes start twitching. I can't. I don't, nah. No. There's only so much time I can spend in the gardening center. Like, it's just, no. So, But yeah, my husband, bless his heart, he went in there and dealt with all of that craziness and got it all worked out. And at one point had to have the manager help because it was a little complicated. It was a lot complicated. But yeah, got it all figured out and he had some amazing discounts. So it all ended up worth it in the end. So yeah, we like Home Depot and we like Lowe's. Lowe's is a little bit more my favorite. Sorry, Home Depot. But it's awesome. Awesome. But yeah, huge tip there. If you have to get multiple appliances, if you have maybe a family member or friend that also needs multiple appliances, might want to get that together. Yeah, save some money that way. All right. So who is on here? I have no questions, comments, nothing. I'm like sitting here just chit-chatting right along. I got nothing on here. Y'all are quiet tonight. So let's see. It's probably because I look so weird without having the big logo in the background. You don't have really fantastic lighting. I'm just kind of here tonight, but I seriously pinched something really bad. It was this morning too. It was just as I was getting up, I got out of the bed wrong. And it was so funny because I was talking to one of my agents, actually her spouse, on Saturday, and we were laughing about how once you're 40, you just twitch and all of a sudden something's broken or hurting or whatever. And we were laughing and laughing about, you know, comedians who had talked about that. And what happens? This morning, I got out of bed wrong. What? That makes no sense. But I was apparently looking that way and moving that way, and that's all it took. So it hurts. So some Advil and the recliner. I'll be right as rain tomorrow. No worries. Which is good because I have a meeting in the morning. Now, I did go into the office a little bit earlier this morning. I went to a property management meeting, but it wasn't too bad. But then I was like, I don't know why I'm sitting here doing paperwork when I can do this at home. So, from a recliner with a heating pad. So, what can you do? I don't know. I just can't wait to see what 50 brings. Thankfully, that's a few years off yet. So, oof. But yeah. My massive water bottle. My daughter and I are still doing 75 hard. I think we are on day 51. Well, technically, I'm on 51. She's on 52. She started a day before me. She wanted to start right on January 1st. I wanted to start on Monday, so we're a day apart. But no, she's doing really, really good. I think she's lost like 20 pounds though, so it's kind of crazy. A lot more active, a lot more conscious of what we're putting in our bodies. But yeah, and a lot of water. Mass quantities of water every single day. So you have to drink at least a gallon of water every day for the 75 Hard Challenge. So 10 pages of a nonfiction book every single day. So I've gotten through several books lately. It's been really good, actually. I honestly think I'll probably just continue it because I'm really feeling great. We did a 5K, her and I, on Saturday morning. If you ever want a humbling experience, by the way, do any kind of 5K or marathon in the villages. Wow. I was passed up by so many of the elderly. It was truly amazing. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, I did not realize I was this slow and pathetic. But I still finished, and that's the important thing. But there were a lot of elderly people, and they were flying by me. I mean, just flying. And I cannot, I know it's not a competition when you're running. I mean, not really. You're competing against yourself. And I did shave off 8 minutes from the month before. And my daughter shaved off 11 minutes from her time. So we did personal best and all of that. So that was great. But at the same time, the entire time, I am just trucking it as best I can. And I'm so proud of myself for getting out there. And yeah, there are all of these geriatrics just passing me up like I was standing still. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. I hope that when I grow up, I can be like them. It's so sad. So sad. Hello, Leighton. I'm looking forward to see you do a video on DR Horton new home build before, hold on. I hate how it just, before sheetrock goes up because I'm interested in the Cali model. Okay, that's cool. I can definitely do that. I love looking at them before the sheetrock goes up, the drywall goes up. I think it's fascinating to see how they build a house, and yeah, that one that's cool to me. I much prefer, especially if it's a builder I'm not familiar with. DR Horton in our area has consistently built pretty good homes. I'm not going to say they're absolutely perfect. I've never seen a perfect new construction home. Never happened. Never happened. But they're very consistent in their quality, and I do like that. There's definitely some builders I've seen that I'm like, and you can't tell. You can't tell once the drywall is up. No. But if you go out there before the drywall is up and look around, it's like, oh no, I'm not selling this house. There is no chance I feel safe or comfortable with this decision to put somebody into this home. That's very few and far between that I would actually say I absolutely will not sell a house built by that builder. But there are some. There are some. So you will never be sold a house from us if we don't believe in the builder or the product. So, yeah, there's a few that I'm like, just not going to do it. I was in Ocala a couple months ago, but I didn't get to see one. Aw. That's the whole cool thing about coming to Ocala. Normally, if you go to the new construction, the salespeople, especially like, you know, DR Horton or something like that, you're like, okay, great. Can I see one that doesn't have drywall up? They're looking at you like, what? But they'll take you out to see it. So yeah, just be like, no, I want to see what that looks like. If I don't know, sometimes they might not have exactly the model you're looking for. And that's not really what you're looking at anyway. You're really looking at the quality and of the craftsmanship that they're doing, the quality of the work that they're doing. So that's more what you're looking at, and that's not really going to change from one house to another house, really. But if they happen to have a Cali without the drywall up, yay, bonus. You know, if they happen to have exactly the house that you're looking for without drywall, that's great. But it goes really quick with DR Horton. I mean, there's like nothing, just some dirt, and then all of a sudden there's a house there. It's like you blink and boop. It's like they pop up like mushrooms overnight. But yeah, I would definitely do that. But any of them that I promote, like Shamrock Homes, Lennar, DR Horton, Triple Crown, love Triple Crown. Any of those, I've gone into the houses before the drywall has gone up, and I would stand behind them and say, this is something that I would want to recommend to people because I really do like how they build. That is not to say that's in every area. That's what I've seen down here. But I know in other markets, let's say DR Horton, for example, they have builders and they have, you know, different supervisors and stuff all over the United States. I'm not going to go and say the entire company is awesome. I love Triple Crown Homes. Triple Crown Homes is a local builder, so them 100%, any of their houses I would stand behind any day. I absolutely love their houses. I love the craftsmanship. I love the extra steps that they take. Anytime I go into one of their houses, even if it's 20 years old, I walk in and I'm like, this is a Triple Crown home. You know it. Okay, there's just certain things that they do that are slightly above the standard, you know? So yeah, Triple Crown, beautiful houses, absolutely beautiful houses. I love that company. I love those houses. But those are custom. They don't have many spec homes. And it is a little bit more expensive because again, they really do a fantastic job. They take the time, they put the effort and the money into it, and you're getting a good product. DR Horton, because it's a bulk spec home company, you're going to get more of a discount, but you're not going to get like, you know, the upgrades and stuff. What are their price ranges for Triple Crown? Oh man. I think they start right around 300. You're going to need to, you might be able to get one 275. You're going to need to buy your own land though. That's the difference. So yeah, you could probably get one for, you know, in the 200s, but you're going to need to purchase your own land. And land around here, I'm sorry, is fairly inexpensive. You can get an acre for about 20,000, maybe even a little bit less. If you are, especially if you're buying multiple acres, it's definitely less. Then it's more like 17, 18, depending on what part of Ocala too, because if you're like wanting right in the city limits for acreage, that's rare. So anything that's rare is going to be more expensive. But yeah, if you just want like quarter acre, a third of an acre, then that is, I mean, depending on the neighborhood, you can probably get that for much less. You could probably even get it for 12 or 15, depending on where you go. But yeah, if you go to like, what's the one I like? Over, oh man, Rolling Hills. I love Rolling Hills. Rolling Hills, everything is an acre and there's absolutely no mobile homes. So there's no HOA, but it is deed restricted. So if you have like, you know, a $400,000 house, you're not going to see a mobile home next door that could potentially bring down the value of your home. So I like it. I mean, it's rural, but at the same time, it's only about 15 minutes. And then you're at hospitals and Walmarts and Publix and all of that stuff. So I like it. It looks like you're out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and you kind of are, but it's 15 minutes from being somewhere. So I'll take that. I would take that. And each of the lots in there is at least 1 acre. So I like it. There's space and it all looks very rural and farms and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's not going to be cows and horses and stuff. It's just 1 acre subdivision. It's pretty cool. I like it. So if you were to buy that, I think those are going for right around 30,000, unless you want one on one of the main paved roads, and then it's closer to 50 or 60,000. But I mean, if you're just right off of one of the paved roads, I don't think there's that much of a difference. So yeah, you could do that for about 25 to 30 for an entire acre. That's pretty cool. So you buy that and then ask Triple Crown to come out and build you a house. There's a few other builders, like Patriot Homes, they'll do the same thing. And what's the other one? There's one I was just getting to know. Oh man, it had a weird name too, and I'm just completely forgetting it. But there's another one, and they do spec homes, but they will come and do a custom home for you around the same price. They've got pretty good sized houses, for, you know, for what they're doing. I like their floor plans too. I like Lennar's floor plans. I think Lennar is probably, I mean, Triple Crown, of course, because those are custom, so you can pretty much make whatever floor plan you want. I've called the owner before and I'm like, hey, can you throw me a, can you just throw a mother-in-law suite on that one? Cause it looks like their mother-in-law or their adult children or whatever is going to be moving in there. And he's like, not a problem. I'll go ahead and tuck it on the west side or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. You can do, you can do weird stuff like that. So I like that. But, yeah, there's some builders that are actually really cool with their floor plans. I like Lennar. Even though they're spec homes, they have a lot of different kinds of floor plans. I love the differences in their floor plans. Very, very, very different, very unique, and a lot of choices. So I do like that about Lennar. I like GR Horton because they are concrete block. Lennar is, we call them stick built or frame homes. They look like the same because they do stucco on the outside, but they are frame homes. I don't have a problem living in a frame home in Florida, in Ocala. I would not do that if I were like closer to the coast, just because of hurricanes and stuff. But I don't have an issue with frame homes here at all. And it is less expensive to have a frame home because it's less expensive to build a frame home. So Shamrock and Lennar, those are frame homes pretty much exclusively. Whereas GR Horton and Triple Crown, they do concrete block normally. So just differences. Patriot Homes, they'll do whatever you want. They're like, they don't care. They're like, concrete block it is, frame, okay. Just let them know. So I don't know. Lots of different builders. Was it Luxor? No, it wasn't Luxor. I mean, those are a good builder too, but those aren't the ones I was thinking. It's gonna drive me nuts. All right. Anyway, I'll try and remember and put it in the description below after this. No. So, but yeah, there's a lot. I don't know. I'd say talk to us and let us know what you want, and we can kind of match it up with the different builders and what they do and the price ranges and stuff. So, Deltona Homes, for example, we've sold a lot of those. Those are very basic, I think. Beautiful homes, but they're very, very basic. It's not like you're going to get ground molded or something like that in one of those. So I don't know. World Corp, again, very basic. What you get is what you get. They're not going to do anything different. All their colors are the same, which is like a dark brown in the kitchen and stuff. So my husband and I saw a World Corp home that we were going to buy, and it was in our neighborhood and everything. We're like, oh, this is a really great price. It was like $212,000. And I couldn't get past how dark it was. It was like, it was carpeting. I'm like, oh, we'd have to rip out all the carpeting. If I buy the land and go to Triple Crown, do I have to get my own loan, or are they going to get it? You will get your own loan. They have preferred lenders. Good grief, Nike has a lot of termites. What in the world is with the termites? If you're concerned with termites, I'd go ahead and get a termite bond on the property. With frame homes, yes, you do have the possibility of termites, but you have the same with concrete block. The only difference is if you have termites eat an entire wall of a frame house, you've now got a structural issue. Whereas you're never going to have a structural issue with termites eating a concrete block house, because the structure is concrete block. They're just going to eat the wood inside that's holding up the drywall and the framing and the doors and stuff like that. So not fun. But especially if you have subterranean termites, then yeah, I would just do, you can either do a treatment, and they do like little bait things. And then that's a little bit more expensive. If you absolutely want to make sure you never have termites, whether your house is frame or concrete or block or whatever. But if you want to, I would do that either way. If you've had them 3 times, good gravy. What are you doing? Like 3 times you had termites. You got like firewood stacked up by your house, or like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Oh, maybe you're in California. I know California is like every house has termites. I swear. They always do those home improvement or yeah, where they're doing fix it or flip it or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, every single time they're like, okay, we bought this sight unseen house and here's our budget. And I'm like, how can you do a budget for a house you've not like inspected? And like, there's no way. There's no way. And then it's like, oh, surprise, it has termites. Dude, every show, every time in California, they all have termites. It's not a shocker anymore. The shocker would be as if it didn't have termites. That I would be surprised at. Like, I can't watch those shows. Like, they're just so fake. Like, really, you've been doing this how many thousands of houses, and you didn't think that a sight unseen house is going to have termites in California? Really? Really? I don't think so. But yeah, it's funny that every time. But yeah, let me think. Oh goodness. As far as the other question with the that Leighton asked about the preferred lenders, yes, you will have to get a lender. I have a whole list of lenders. Again, if you contact us, we're going to go ahead and get you to the right builder. And if you decide that you want to do Triple Crown, then they have a preferred lender that you will utilize. If you use your own lender, that's cool too. They're not going to say no. There are certain types of financing that they may or may not do. I know at one point they were not accepting VA, not because they have any issue with veterans, but only because they got hosed on a couple of veteran appraisals, and they're like, we just can't accept it right now. So that might change. Ocala internet connection. My internet connection is messed up. Is this like freezing? I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Now it's on. I'm sorry. I did not realize my internet connection was going crazy. Here, let me see if I can change the setting. Just twice. One was an apartment building that I lived in Los Angeles. I knew it was California. I knew it. Oh my God, called it. The other was a townhouse in Miami, Florida, and it was a concrete block construction. Yeah, so not too much damage on that one. Concrete block can get termites too. It's just not as structurally damaging as a frame home, obviously, because the structure is food. You're not freezing up for me. Oh, okay, cool. I was like, what? I didn't, because normally it freezes on my side too if it starts having internet issues, but it wasn't. I don't know. I'm sorry. But I just switched it to internet cell phone. So we'll see. Yeah. So it just depends. The internet connection, by the way, it really just depends. If you are 7 streets from me, that way, you get Spectrum, which is fantastic. We had Spectrum before we moved here. I really wanted Spectrum again, which it used to be called Bright House. Oh man, I loved it. It was so great internet. More expensive, but it was such great internet. No, we are not in Spectrum. We are 7 streets too far over. Cox I actually have for my office. You have to pay through the nose in order to get good internet. So, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Comcast is, I have Cox at my office. I have Comcast at my Denellen office, and I have Zito, which is a small local cable company at my house. I like Spectrum, yeah. Out of all the internet connections, it's like I have 3. I can honestly, I can honestly tell you about those 3. And then I used to have Spectrum, and oh man, I wish I had Spectrum still, because it was so, so good. It was so fast and so clear. No issues, no interruptions. No, it was great. So yeah, I miss that. But you know, it is what it is. And then over in Rolling Hills, it is, some of the houses can't get internet yet. So they're doing like Starlink. Yeah. Can you imagine if I did Starlink if I didn't have internet? Ah, that would be horrible. What's funny is over in the forest, Ocala National Forest, they have some fantastic fiber network over there. They have amazing internet. And then what's really crazy is they have clay utilities for electric, which is like by far the cheapest electric I've ever seen. So they're making out like bandits out there. The cell phone signal you probably have to do something about, because the cell phone signal sucks. There's so many trees, and trees will, because there's water in the trees, you're going to have a hard time, and a lot of lakes and stuff out there too. So you're going to have a hard time with cell phone signal. Didn't want to buy a house in the country. They're out in the sticks, man, and they've got great internet. So it just depends. It really just depends. So if you're in the sticks over in Southwest Ocala, go figure, not as good. If you go out into the middle of the sticks, it's like thousands of acres and miles of just trees out there, and they've got fantastic internet connection. I'm like, whose butt did you kiss? Like, what? How did this happen? Fantastic. But I think it's because, I think this is probably, the University of Florida has a lot of agricultural stuff that they're doing out there, and they required, I guess they required fiber optic network or something. And then it just kind of, well, since we're already out here, that's the only thing I can guess, because it's literally like you can go miles and miles and see just trees and not a single person. And so how in the world they have way better internet than the rest of us, I cannot figure that out for the life of me. City of Ocala also has a fiber optic network. I have never personally tried it. I've heard it's good, but I've never personally tried it. So I don't know. Could be good, could be bad. I've heard it's good. But yeah, if you're within the city limits, you're going to have more expensive utilities, and you are going to have slightly more expensive utilities, and you are going to have really good internet, but it's going to be more costly. But you have the choice of, I think it's City of Ocala internet, That's what I've heard anyway. It like does all the schools and the public anyway. And then Cox is City of Ocala as well. And there's one other company that was trying to actually come to my office and get me to switch because they had fiber optic. But I haven't done that yet. So I mean, I'm okay with Cox. It's not fantastic. It's not horrible. It's just kind of, it's okay. Verizon. No question. T-Mobile is okay. I had T-Mobile before I got Verizon. But yeah, I've had Verizon for a long time. Maybe 15 years now. Yeah, I think I had T-Mobile for maybe 2 to 4 years, and then I went to Verizon, and I've had it ever since. I had Nextel before that. I'm showing my age. I loved Nextel, the little beep beep, and then, oh man, that was awesome. It was like amazing. Is there a site that I can check the internet map? No, but that would be really cool if you could. Not that I'm aware of. Sorry. I guess I know most of the neighborhoods, what they're on. I could probably just shade it in. The purple is Spectrum. I mean, every single time, you gotta think, as a realtor, every single time that we advertise a house for sale, we get asked what internet, what utilities, blah, blah, blah. And any time that we have a buyer that's considering a house, doesn't even have to close on a house. If they're even considering a house, we have to find out what utilities and what the internet is. So at this point in my office, we pretty much know every street of this entire county, what it's going to be on. It is what it is. And if we don't know, we'll find out. Yeah, for the most part. We are very Verizon centric over here. But you can get, there's a lot of different stuff. We've got AT&T, we've got Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon. I mean, we've got all the basics. Oh. Sorry. Gotta drink my gallon. But yeah, I'd say probably Verizon. We used to actually, it's a little more so, it's actually in our paperwork for our listings that we request that the sellers tell us how much an average utility bill is. And some of them even were like, hey, yeah, let me go ahead and give you a couple of copies of my last few bills. So that's always helpful information. You can actually call, yes, internet is extremely location dependent. On the utilities, I don't know if you know this or not, but you can contact a utility company, like, the electric companies, and ask them what the average bill was over the last 2 years, and they will be able to tell you that information. It's great. Overall, it's not very good in Ocala. For internet, I don't know. I've been here like 20 years almost, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's probably about the same as everywhere else, but I don't know for sure. That means you got to compare it. That sounds like a comparative statement. So if you're going to compare it to another city, like if I'm going to compare it to, I'm with Cox. Okay. So yeah, if you're having issues with Cox, my recommendation would be just to go up, bump it up to the next level. They have all these levels. Probably a lot of, cable companies have that now. But if you bump it up to the next level, then all of a sudden it's like, wow, all the issues I was having before, with this company are no longer there. Yeah. Yeah, we've had that with Zito. It's connection. Okay. Connection is good. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't had any issues with the internet connection so much. Oh, yeah. Not good. Maybe look into Starlink. Half an acre in Marion Oaks. About the same as it would cost to clear half an acre anywhere. Oh, not good. come hang out at my office. Maybe up the router? I don't know. I have no idea. At my office, it's pretty reliable. It's very rare that we don't have internet because our phones are internet based too. So that would be really problematic. But we're also on business internet, which I don't know if they treat differently. I have no idea because I don't have residential Cox internet. I don't think anywhere. Even our Airbnb is on Cox business because it's technically for them a business. I don't know. What was the last question? Hold on. Oh yeah, I do have a guy I can send you. Close to the main road is better. Definitely true. I'm right off of 200. That's for sure. I do have a guy that I can give you his number to. He does land clearing, and he apparently does it pretty inexpensive. So maybe check with him because he came in. I had somebody that I was like using for, quotes and getting people that information. But then this guy was like half as much as that guy. So I'm going to say, yeah, him. If I could remember the name off the top of my head, that would be awesome, but I can't. So I have to look him up. It was a text message that somebody sent me, and I just keep scrolling back through the text messages, getting his number. I should save him in my phone. That's pretty sad. But once he's saved in my phone, he'll never come out again. You're like, if you're saved in my phone, you're there until you die. Like, there is no coming out of it. So if I take the time to add you, that's it. We're friends until the end of time. That's it. So, yeah, it's a Google contact, so I have a lot of contacts in there. It's like even my, I have it set so even if my phone, like I could drop my phone in water and go and grab a different phone and turn it on, and all of my contacts would then be in the new phone. All my pictures, I don't lose anything because I don't have that much faith in technology. It dies. And I'm pretty rough on stuff too. I mean, I've dropped a laptop while it was open onto a brick floor before. I moved a desk and it was sitting on the desk and it fell off the desk and right onto a brick floor. Yeah, it still worked-ish. But I mean, I don't know. I'm hard on stuff. I've got the protective case. I got the protective layer on my phone. It's all tore up. I have one phone. It looks like I have a bullet hole through it. It was not a bullet hole. I did not shoot my phone. It just looks like I did. What actually happened is I had it sitting on the counter, and my spice rack came undone, and one of the big glass heavy grinder things fell right in the middle. I mean, it looks like somebody took and shot it, but yeah, I was like, I wasn't even holding my phone. I don't know how it died, but yeah, it went all the way through to the components. You could see like all the components through the screen. I was like, this is not good. I gave it to my son, who's an IT guy. I was like, can you fix this? And he's like, no, just no. He's like, it's not worth it. It's gone. I'm like, okay. Oh, sad. Poor Michael. He gets all the questions. I know there's an airport shuttle from Ocala. Is there an airport shuttle from Gainesville? I think it's the same shuttle. But yeah, there's also, there's the red bus. I don't know what it's, I think it's, or the red coach, something like that. Anyway, but it goes from like Tampa. It's really nice, really, really comfy. I think it's the big red coach, maybe is what it's called. Anyway, but yeah, they come up through from like Tampa and they'll go up to Gainesville or whatever. Or should I rent a car? If you're coming up from Tampa or Orlando to here, I would rent a car. Then you have a lot more. I mean, once you get to Ocala, you're not gonna be able to do much because everything is very far away. It's like 15-20 minutes to here, 15-20 minutes to there, so you're just not gonna have very much. Yeah, you won't be able to do much otherwise. So what's the point? I mean, by the time you take a coach up and then you take a coach back, or a shuttle or whatever, it's not that much more to rent a car normally. So my personal opinion. I like Enterprise. I know they've got one here. Give me his number. I really appreciate it. Okay, it will be in the description. I will make sure and put it in the description because I got to look it up and it's on my phone and I'm using the phone. So I don't know how that would work. Or if you just want to send me an email, send it to GER.ExpectMore@gmail.com and just ask for the tree clearing guy and I will make sure and send you that. That'll probably be the easiest way. I have a guy for everything. Literally, there's just somebody for everything. Is Orlando your closest, biggest airport? Orlando? It's the closest. It's definitely the biggest. Orlando's the biggest. You're welcome. So Orlando is huge. MCO is huge. I personally don't like flying into MCO. You have to take a tram just to get to your luggage. It's just too big. It's way too big. I prefer going to Sanford, Orlando International Airport, which is just north of there. It maybe tacks on 10 minutes. It's not that much of a difference. And that one is like a small business kind of commercial airport. So Allegiant, Frontier, I think for sure Allegiant. I don't know about Frontier. I think Frontier too. Anyway, some of those airports, super, super cheap. Super cheap. Gainesville is next. So I personally, Gainesville is small, very small. I would say probably out of all of them, I like, Gainesville is more expensive. I would say go to Sanford, Orlando International, which I think is SFA. I don't know. SBA. I don't know. Sanford, Orlando International Airport. That one is my favorite one. It's not as close as Orlando, but it's maybe tack on like 10 minutes. Tampa is my second favorite because, again, it's not massive, but you do have all of the... I mean, it is a big airport. It's just not the Orlando airport. Is it really? Oh, wow. I always take Allegiant, so it's like super cheap. I can't say that because I am going to Phoenix in April. And I'm going out of Tampa on that one. I prefer going out of Tampa than MCO. MCO is just so big. So big. So, but a lot of my family comes in from MCO, so we go over to pick up family and friends and stuff fairly frequently. But that's a mouse house, man. Anything you touch in Orlando is going to be big. It's going to be shiny. It's going to be expensive. So for me, I would... Tampa, I think, is easier to get in and out of. I mean, literally the highway just kind of ends there. So you have no choice. You're going there next week. Yay! Ouch. Dress cool because we're going to be in the 80s and 90s, I know, this week. Yeah. We're going to be swimming before you know it pretty soon. So, yeah. I don't know. I like Tampa. My favorite is Sanford because it's like no nonsense. You just go in, get it done, move on. So Gainesville is probably the most convenient, but it's also the most expensive. And yeah, last MCO. However, that may change pretty soon because we are getting our high-speed train soon. I'm so excited. The trains are now in. They have 10 trains plus an extra locomotive. But yeah, the high-speed train is coming to, it's got their new train station over at Orlando International Airport. I have been waiting for 10 years for this to happen, okay? I have been nagging people. Everybody is so sick of me talking about this stupid train, but I love it. I love the idea of having a train coming up into our area in any way, shape, or form. So I definitely want to be one of the first to get on there. I don't know that I'll be actually able to go to the grand opening because who am I but nobody. But I think it would just be really, really cool to literally, like, for the first month or two that it's in, I will be on that train. I will definitely share a video with you guys. But it's going to Miami. So it's a commuter train that they've got high speed going from Orlando down to Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Is that not the greatest thing ever? And so you can actually get a 5-hour drive is going to be able to be accomplished in 3 hours. And it's got Wi-Fi and nice seats the entire time. How can you not love that? And then it's going to be able to take you down in Miami down to like where the cruise ships are and stuff like that. I think it's just going to be fantastic. And then once they're finished with Orlando, they're actually going to go down towards Tampa. I am super hoping that they actually come north after that as opposed to south, but they have to come north. It may not be in the next 10 years, but it will be in my lifetime. Hopefully. So yeah, I'm hoping, wouldn't it be great, especially for the villages, to open up all of that? For everyone in the villages not to have to worry about driving and have a high-speed train come in where it could take them to Tampa, to the Tampa airport. It could take them to Orlando airport. It could take them to Miami cruises. That would be huge. It would open up so much opportunity. And for us in Ocala, oh, we would definitely be going down to the villages and stuff for that. Wouldn't it be nice? So I'm really hoping, with especially as much growth as they have and how many people would be utilizing it in the villages, I'm really hoping that they'll put a terminal in the villages once they're done with Tampa, or as they're building to Tampa, because it kind of goes right through the villages already if they actually do what they say they're going to do. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, wow. I think it'll be very popular up here. Can you imagine? Because a lot of times people will come to Florida for vacation and they're like, yeah, we're going to stay in Orlando. We're going to go and do Disney and then we're going to go to the beach. Orlando doesn't have a beach. There's no beach. So, I mean, can you imagine if they can actually like spend, their time in Orlando and then go down to, Fort Lauderdale or Miami for a few days? That is huge. That would be huge. Okay, so all those tourists, they come thinking they're going to go to a Florida beach and have some like, palm trees and sunshine. No, there is no beach. No beach. Not in Orlando. It's crazy. Anyway, did you guys see the shuttle? I don't know if you guys are down here or not, but there was a shuttle launch the other night at 10, I think it was 10:58. I don't know. I had to go outside and look at it. Hopefully. Personally, I'm very excited about it. Very excited. So I've been like talking it up for years. I'm just super excited about it. So I'm not a huge fan of driving. I mean, how many years have I been a realtor? Do you know how much we drive? It's ridiculous. So yeah, to be able to get on a train and then go down and take a cruise out of Miami, I think it would be so awesome. I think it would be great. So I'm hoping that that will be something we can do soon. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think it'll be great. Plus cutting down the time. There's a lot of people that want to move to Orlando or Kissimmee and their family's all down in Miami or vice versa. And, that drive is just killing them. But if they can, especially the older ones, if they could get on a train and in 3 hours be up there with their family, that's huge. I think it's great. I don't know. Plus, it's a lot less energy and stuff on if you're driving. So for the environment, I would think it would be much better, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I will definitely be doing this. Even if I don't even have to go to Miami for something, I will be on that train just to be on the train. I'm super excited about it. So I already told my husband. He knows. So by the end of this year, it is going to be up and running. They already got their trains like this week. So excited. You can't even tell. So happy. DeLand, Deltona, maybe. Yeah. I like Deltona. I like DeLand. I mean, I like Ocala better, obviously. I live here, but they're cool. We manage a house over in Deltona. Sorry, it's rented. But yeah, really nice tenants, really nice house. It does actually remind me, Deltona actually reminds me a lot of Ocala as far as the size and what it is and all of that. Very close to Orlando though, very close. So it's like a suburb outside of Orlando at this point, really. So don't know. Oh my goodness, I just realized I've been on here for 70 minutes. Okay, well, I am going to let you guys go. I hope you have a fantastic evening. In Ocala now, but to go fishing, it takes about 2 hours to the East Coast. Oh, you want like sea fishing. East Coast. Yes, so not the Gulf. Okay. Yeah. I had to think about that. Okay, just I'm left and right kind of person. Anyway, yeah, no, if you go over to the East Coast, yeah, it depends on what part of Ocala. Saltwater fishing, the real deal. Yeah, I don't do saltwater. Those things, there's bigger things than me in that water, and they got a lot of teeth, and I don't want to. I don't want to. I love fishing, but I like freshwater fishing, where you're not as likely to get bit by what you're fishing for. It's like extreme sport, and when you're doing saltwater fishing, that is an extreme sport. I'm sorry, it is. No. No. But then again, freshwater in Ocala, you do sometimes end up with snapping turtles on your line or alligators, so I guess it's also kind of scary. But I don't, there's a lot of fish in the salt water that is big and scary with teeth. I mean a lot. It's not like just sharks, and it's not like sharks are one thing. There's a lot of different kinds of sharks, and some things are like they can sting you. I mean, no, I'm just gonna go with no on that one. It's eel. It would be nice catching something bigger. I see, that doesn't sound like fun to me. That sounds like a great way to go overboard. I'm good. I'm good. I know that is all you, my friend. That is all you. Catch one for me, okay? I don't mind eating it. I just don't want to go out there and mess with it. No, I'll stick to my freshwater bass and stuff. Thanks. No. But yeah, it does. If you are living more on the east side of Ocala, it's not going to be that long or that far to get out there. But if you are on the west side of Ocala, yeah, it's going to take you a good, probably a good, yeah, 2 hours maybe. Depends on where you are in the county. But yeah, I mean, if you already live in Ocala National Forest, it ain't going to be that long. But again, where in Ocala National Forest? Because that place is huge, huge, huge area. So anyway, there's a lot of freshwater fishing over there. Just saying. You might not get bit that way. All right, I am out of here for tonight. You guys have an awesome evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me at my home. And next week, we are for sure going to be over at DR Horton, unless she reschedules on me. That would be fair. Take care, Dio. And yeah, next week we will be at DR Horton home in JB Ranch, actually, with my friend Dawn. I loved hanging out with Dawn last time. Even if the internet connection was a little weird, that was out in a very, very, very new subdivision in Marion Oaks, called Huntington Ridge, and it was, I mean, the wires have barely come up on the poles yet out there. It was literally like 2 houses up. So super new. I cannot even stress how new that place was. They barely have electric out there. So it's all for those big fishes. Hey, it's the big teeth that bother me. No, it's also the big fishes. You catch a whale, man. Y'all have a great night, and thanks so much for hanging out with me. Bye.